Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Quant or QNT. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys, could please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate it. Now overall, the market is starting to have a massive rally throughout the altcoin market. We do see Zilliqa still up 92.46%, up 163.5%, VeChain, Hollow, Filecoin, a lot of other assets are doing very well for themselves. But you know, when we are talking about Quant, I do believe that QNT is about to have a massive rally as well. In fact, we are up 23.44% on the 7-day span, but now we are seeing a nice little test of the 200-day EMA. We're going to be addressing this and talking about it. The trading volume is still down a little bit overall, but we are still seeing mass accumulation happening of the token. We are also seeing major listings happening as well. If you guys did miss the other day, we seen a Kraken FX listing, and now we seen an Uphold listing, if you guys missed it. So I know that we were on Uphold, you know, for the most part in the United States, but this is actually accounting for, you know, Europe and even the UK, which is very good. It still does allow a lot more demand globally for QNT as a token, and we actually see here QNT is running out of tier 1 exchanges to be listed on. And yes, we are. For the most part, when we are talking about major listings, you know, there's only a few other ones in the top 10 that we are really kind of addressing for, you know, QNT. But I do think that we will see more and more listings happening. I think that this is going to be a high demand asset, even going forward on in time. And of course, a lot of individuals are going to want to, you know, be buying QNT as more and more individuals find out about interoperability and CBDCs in general. I've been talking to you guys about this for a little bit in time, but, you know, today, we really want to address the chart. So let's actually talk about the chart. Let's talk about what's happening. So I just made a video early on in the day talking to you guys more so about how we're seeing a major move throughout the markets for altcoins. In fact, we are addressing the total 2. I addressed the total 2 having this massive breakout event, which will lead for, you know, altcoins to have a nice rally. As you guys do see, QNT has been holding this upward, you know, trend for a while now, fairly strongly. We are seeing a little bit of diminished volume while we are still kind of moving upward, which is a little bit of a red flag. But you guys do see that 200-day EMA kind of moving further down the line. Currently sitting at almost my bottom level on this key target box, which is also, you know, major resistance going back to like February, which I told you guys about, you know, slightly. This is also a little bit of a support zone going all the way back to almost August now. But that's why I do have this higher target up here, which is, you know, coincidentally the 382 fib level, which is also major, you know, resistance during this time that we officially broken out of and went parabolic to the all-time high back in, of course, like the September timeframe. Now, I will say this, as we do kind of, you know, range on here in this nice upward trend, we do want a lot more volume in order for us to actually kind of push up above those levels. The current time, you know, like, I would say the time frame on a lot of altcoins going a little bit parabolic would, you know, kind of wage on the idea of Bitcoin having this nice little rally, which will bring the dominance down while it does kind of move up. But that is alt season essentially. So we are, you know, kind of awaiting alt season to be confirmed. But first, we want Bitcoin to have a nice wave 5 run. That allows a lot more capital to flow into this market, which will ultimately flow into altcoins. But I will say the level that I'm watching for closely on QNT for a confirmed breakout event would be $178. We have not been above this level since going back as far as January, but I actually want to see it in an upward trend instead, which has not been seen since December. But as you guys do see in the past, before December, the only time that we were in an upward trend was in this massive, you know, run to the all-time high. So that is what I am watching for on the USDT chart. On the Bitcoin price chart, so let me actually get a little bit more price data. So here we have it. So ultimately, I have this, it's green, but this is basically a red zone. I want to see us break above the 200-day EMA, which we're very close to. And this is actually the topping point of this is resistance going back to July. So I do believe that if we could break up above this, let's see what sats is this. So let me confirm. So this 0.00334 sat level, if we could break above that, we could go on a nice little rally, similar to what we did back in, of course, the time frame of the all-time high being targeted on the USDT chart. RSI looks pretty good here. Volume, though, for the most part, is still very low. We actually want to see a lot more volume in on the Bitcoin price chart in order for a confirmed breakout to actually happen on the USDT chart. But with that being said, I hope that kind of summarizes the current price action of Quant. I have been addressing the total 2 multiple times on my other videos and even on Twitter. As you guys do see, this breakout event on the total 2 is basically happening. Looks like we are going to be targeting $2 trillion if we could have a confirmed breakout event, similar to what we did from the lows in summer to the highs in, of course, like the fall timeframe. Now let's talk about a few things, because as we are seeing, Bitcoin and the altcoin market kind of going a little bit crazy currently, let's actually talk about interoperability and, of course, CBDCs in general. So we do see the head of BIS Org Innovation Hub Eurosystem Center recently gave an update on the group's latest CBDC research. During Q&A, Raphael emphasized the importance of a strong interoperability solution in the evolving cross-border payment system. Listen closely, guys.
The issue of cross-border interoperability is really important, especially going back to the importance of facilitating cross-border payments and considering that central banks are really working on a wide range of CBDC designs, and we shouldn't really be taking the interoperability of these as granted.
And that's basically the key component of things, is like interconnectivity between the legacy system and, of course, the digital system. I've been addressing this many times. But we are seeing this becoming an evidently more and more clearer problem within, of course, the monetary and financial system. More so, I've always talked to guys about security, scalability, sustainability. Like, all of these things are big key components. But at the end of the day, like, none of that even matters if there is no interoperability, because none of this stuff, all of this technology that we talk about on a day-to-day basis will never be utilized properly if there is no interoperability. And of course, we do see here on CBDCs, Gilbert Verdian says, at the start, we need to consider how to integrate our existing financial systems with DLT and blockchain type payment systems to support the evolution of money. This is, at the end of the day, a massive disruption to the financial and monetary systems globally, I should say. But without, of course, interoperability, there is no way to actually evolutionize money in general. That is why this is such an integral part of the evolution of money, essentially, and that's exactly what Gilbert Verdian is trying to say here, and that's also the mission and the vision behind Quant in general. So again, like I've said, when we talk about the price per QNT, that will really kind of be determined from the idea of the volume and the value that is transacted over the network. I know a lot of people kind of confuse the idea of QNT as a token and then Quant as a company. I never really kind of relay the price per QNT directly on the idea on what Quant is doing. But overall, the reason why I value QNT as a token and why I do believe that this should be in everyone's portfolio isn't because of the token itself, but what the token actually can facilitate on the network. The network in terms of demand, right? If we have a vision that Quant essentially will be the evolution between the legacy system and the future DLT system of tomorrow, which DLTs essentially are the digital age of finance, technically, because these ledgers will facilitate a CBDC, right? A private CBDC ledger, for an example, is what XRP is trying to do, or Ripple is trying to do with the XRP ledger, basically. If that is the case, if CBDCs are going to be coming to DLTs, then we need that interoperability position between the legacy and the future systems. Now think about the companies and the demand behind them. We don't necessarily even need Ripple to be the key component here either. I'm not saying that Ripple is the only player within the space that has the potential to be a DLT choice for CBDCs. I'm just saying at the end of the day, there is no other interoperability solution than Quant. So technically speaking, we are positioning ourselves in QNT as a token that will have massive demand, because any institutional and banking client that joins the Overledger network, which at this point I see almost all of them becoming a main player on Quant, because it is the only actual interoperability layer between the digital age of finance and the legacy system of finance. So the demand on the network is going to need to utilize QNT as a token to utilize Overledger, and that will ultimately soar the price of QNT as a token, not because of hey, it's going to go into a supply shock. No, it's going to be the demand and value that is transacted over the network that will need to utilize QNT as a token that will fuel Overledger, if that makes sense. So again, we are going to be seeing a massive demand for Quant. And this is the best way that I could summarize it. So shout out to Greg for this, but the most convenient part about holding QNT is not having to decide which layer 1 protocols will win. Overledger API gateways connect all DLTs and blockchains, removing much of the uncertainty of investing in crypto. Why predict winners when you can own the connective tissue? And this is the biggest, selling point for my investment with QNT. Everyone always likes to make an argument and compare, XRP to Ethereum, Ethereum to Bitcoin, Bitcoin to this, HBAR to that, this, that, whatever. Instead of comparing and contrasting, why not own the thing that is going to connect all of them? I mean, this is like, at the end of the day, the clear winner. Like, this is the easiest, investment choice, in my opinion, for the long term of crypto. Short term, yeah, we could see, lower prices, we could see higher prices. Doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, if you're hodling long term, if you have a long term position, say for so, you have an individual that's going to hold Amazon stock for 10 years, right? It might gain roughly 20% over time, maybe even possibly 100%. Depends on how, high, of course, stocks go. But here's QNT that is perfectly positioned to be the connectivity layer between everything. And as central bank digital currencies are continuing to rise in demand and popularity, it's evidently more clear that interoperability definitely is needed. It's a necessity. But think about it like this. You hold QNT for 10 years. It's currently at roughly $144. Cool. Now, what if in 10 years this is at $14,000? Or maybe it's at $20,000, $50,000. Everyone always makes the joke saying, hey, why is QNT ever going to go that high? What's the deal here? It's never going to go that high. The market cap is going to be too high. Guys, we live in a world where Bitcoin is the number one asset, holding $852.9 billion in market cap value, Ethereum holding $381.9 billion in value, XRP holding almost $5 billion in value at all-time highs, $100+ billion in value. Now think about it like this. These are assets that are not even being utilized currently. I know that they're utilized in terms of the network, but these are not even utilized the way that they're properly supposed to be, and they're at these market cap valuations. Now, imagine all of these being connected and having value, driven over them through, of course, the Quant bridge. What is the price of QNT actually going to be? I mean, think about it like this. Like, Quant has 33% less supply than Bitcoin. That's not the biggest selling point. Yeah, sure, tokenomics, great, incredible, whatever. The actual value behind Quant and the biggest investor demand from my perspective is the long-term longevity of interoperability within this market. It's a necessity, all right? It's an increment part of the future of finance. And when we're talking about that, the demand for Quant as a network, but also as a bridge for the future finance, right, is so critical for the success of QNT. And at this point, there is no other choice but Quant. So in my opinion, this is the most incredible long-term play. And when we're talking about the value of all other DLTs and all other networks within the space, if they're all going to be connected through one massive network, aka the network of networks, just think about the value that Quant will actually hold long term. I truly do see Quant being a top 3 asset within the space. And if that's the case, right, it will have at least an $81.3 billion market cap. And that's at current market valuations, right? So let's actually do the math real quick, and let's actually kind of go over to Coin Perspective. Let's go to QNT, and let's actually go to, for an example, Tether, right? $81.2 billion market cap will bring us to about $6,000, right? That's at current market valuations. Now, we're currently sitting at about a $2 trillion market cap. We're looking at like a $200 trillion market cap by 2030. By 2025, we'll most likely be at around like half that. We'll say like $50 trillion. All right, let's say $50 trillion, at a bare minimum price of around like 2025. That's our market cap by 2025 for crypto. Okay. And we're at like 4% market dominance as a top 3 asset. But let's just say top 10. We'll have like 1% of that, roughly 1%. So again, that's a pretty high market valuation. But let's seriously address this. So this would be our market cap, roughly, at 1% of market dominance. And I want you guys to, be aware that this is just at 1% market dominance. This is the top 10%. Now, obviously, right now, when we are talking about current market structures, a lot of these top 10 assets will gain a lot more momentum in terms of percentage dominance as they kind of move in price. But this is at just 1% market dominance at a $50 trillion entire crypto market cap. We would have about an upside of 258x or a price of 37.3K per QNT at a $500 billion market cap. I mean, that's the price of the market cap of Ethereum at its all-time highs. And it's not even the full all-time high. We know that Ethereum has hit a higher, all-time high than that in terms of market value. So let's actually do the math here real quick. So 4891. So again, 4891. Here we have 4891. Market cap of 587. We'll go to QNT. Here you guys have it. Upside of 303x. Current price would be 43.8K. If this seems illogical to you, if it seems like it's unrealistic, I think that you need to do a lot more research on the true potential of interoperability between these networks. It is a critical area to really focus on, but Quant is truly becoming the clear and cut dry winner of interoperability. So with that being said, I hope that kind of breaks down, first off, the value of QNT long term, but also, gives you guys a little bit of a warning to watch for some factors leading up to that point. The total 2 right now is looking very bullish. Altcoins look pretty good as well. I would say, Bitcoin is at a little bit of a resistance point, so just be, aware of that. We might see a little bit of a correction throughout altcoins. But with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.